listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello and welcome. I am so excited to have you here today. Welcome to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. We just celebrated 100 episodes of A Better You yesterday, and that's since February. I am so proud of our team. We have an amazing group of experts who have shown up week after week to present something to help make us better personally and or professionally. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and we are announcing and launching Talking Heads. This is your opportunity to step forward and have your expertise showcased on USA Global TV. You can inquire about being a talking head. We've got all kinds of phenomenal opportunities for people who are interested to help you take your brand to the next level. So wherever you are in the world, if you are someone who is an expert in your field, and it can be any field, it can be business, it could be meditation, it could be yoga, it could be hunting and fishing, it could be design, we'd really like to hear from you. So what does this process look like? I'm going to share a banner. So we basically would love to speak with you and have an initial 15-minute interview to just make sure that we're both on the same page in terms of what you're looking for and the incredible value that our platform will bring to you. So this platform obviously is not for everyone. It's really for people who are the best in what it is that they do across the world. So you can email us at info@usaglobaltv.com, and we will set up a 15-minute appointment with you, again, to just review what it is you're looking for, what it is we're offering. And then we will schedule a more formal interview with you to make sure that this is going to be something that you are so passionate about, because we're really all about bringing value to our audience. So we're going to pause for a break, but again, I just wanted to thank all of you for watching. If you've missed any of our episodes of A Better You, it's so easy. You can watch all 100 episodes. How do you do that? You can go over to our YouTube channel, which is USA Global TV. And once you type that in, we would love if you hit subscribe, the little red box, hit subscribe, and then look for playlists. And on playlists, you'll see A Better You. And all of the A Better You lessons are there. So this is a great way for you to get some bite-sized learning. These are 15-minute lessons, and you can be educated in any number of fields. We have people, as I mentioned, from all over the world who have all kinds of different value and expertise that they have brought to our platform. And again, it's sort of saying goodbye to something that we love, that has been so near and dear to us, with an incredible group of team members, and saying hello to so much opportunity and something that is really truly going to take your business acumen, and take your credibility to the next level. All right, let's pause for a quick commercial break, and then I'm going to bring on two surprise guests who are going to blow our minds with their presentation, as they always do. That would be Daphne Diluce and Stephen Gillen. Stay with us here again on USA Global TV, the first episode of Talking Heads. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, my name is Ralph Graves Jr. I'm the host of the Ralph Graves Jr. Show, and I want to invite you to pick up my book, Unstoppable. I wrote a book called Unstoppable. It's 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. The one thing that my 20 years of law enforcement has taught me is that no matter who you are, we are all governed by universal laws, like gravity. But in this book, we're going to talk about laws like the law of forgiveness, laws like the law of control, the law of intelligent practice, the law of expectancy. I was able to see how those, no matter what their background was, those who identified and treated these laws with respect, they were able to go on and lead successful lives. So pick up this book, and you can go ahead and pick it up at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, RalphGravesJr.com, where anywhere where fine books are sold. Thank you.
There are 7.7 billion people on Earth today. 40% of these people are under the age of 25. Young adults are the most fertile mission field in the world today. In Scripture, we see Jesus pouring his life into 12 young adults who he equipped to change the world and all of history. Like Jesus, we believe that the best approach to reach the world with the gospel is to invest in young, emerging leaders and equip them to build disciple-making movements. Concentric is the notion of surrounding and sharing a common center. Our center is the model and strategy of Jesus for both leadership development and ministry formation. As a global alliance, we provide equipping in biblical leadership based on Jesus' example in the New Testament. Jesus modeled for us how to make disciples that reproduce. Focusing on leadership development is key to creating movements that spread the gospel and Jesus' disciple-making strategy to young leaders around the globe. Our Ministry Alliance partners are actively equipping leaders and building movements of multiplication that reproduce the life of Christ. Join us today to equip young leaders with Jesus' strategy that will change cities and nations.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. If you missed our first segment, I just said that we said goodbye and thank you to a better you. We've had an incredible run of 100 episodes since February. Truly amazing with our wonderful team. And we move forward today with Talking Heads. And who better to join me than phenomenal Daphne Diluce and Stephen Gillen. Welcome.
Hi, lovely to be here.
Oh, it's so nice to celebrate this incredible moment with the two of you. And for those who don't know, we have been working diligently together behind the scenes, creating something that's going to be a wonderful opportunity for so many people. So I know you two have an amazing presentation to give today, but let's just touch briefly on Talking Heads. You guys are the phenomenal creators of this, and I'd love to just spotlight you and tell us, what can people expect with this platform and why should they be interested?
Well, Talking Heads is exactly as what it says on the tin. The idea is that we get really intelligent experts, KPIs, people who have had years of experience in the know. They know how to do it, when to do it, and how to bring the best value to their customers. Now, the Talking Heads model is a very exciting one because it's designed to actually create content for the talking head. Because nowadays with online and so many places you can stream out, it's fantastic to have content that you can stream out again and again and again without it looking tired or old. So we're designing it that everybody can benefit. The audience who listens benefits and the presenters benefits. And then when, as time goes on, we'll be able to have certain modeling and presentations up on the Academy. And then the general public can download wonderful educational material.
And of course, this is going to be, really, really unique because the exposure is going to be worldwide, not just tailored for certain platforms that people may have access to. This will be really with the big boys on all the major platforms with a massive scope. But there's also going to be one of the wonderful things I like about this is there's models there for remuneration, for people, so they can actually get some money back for their expertise, as well as really getting an unbelievable exposure to their messaging, their work, and their branding.
Wow, I think you hit on that key word, remuneration. People are like, whoa, what's in it for me? You just nailed it, both of you. Thank you so much for that. So as we look forward to launching this first episode, we are thrilled that you are both here to present. And do you want to share with us, before we begin, a little bit about your background? You're both so accomplished. We could be here for hours and hours and hours just going through everything that you both have accomplished. But just tell us what you would like the audience to take away from today.
Well, it's build or bust, isn't it? It's about business building. We build national, global brands. We've supported over 200 companies. These are from startup all the way through to 200 million plus, going up to IPO. So, the real 9 yards. And, there's so many unanswered questions in there where people that now, especially post-COVID, they really want to get their lives back and help their families and elevate, build a business. But there's a lot of real questions in there and worries and stresses in there. So we want to dash away a lot of these and really go for it to give some value on what to do, but just as importantly, what not to do.
Yeah. Well, from my perspective, building up brands and doing the modeling, and now over 28 years of experience right around the world, and especially deep in Europe, it's about actually helping people to save time and money, but not taking years and years to make those mistakes. So we're going to be highlighting today some really bold, punchy tips. And then Stephen and I, we have created a company called Raw Media Creative. I came up with the name because Stephen is very noisy and he roars a lot. We make a big noise out in the world.
We need to in business, we need to, right?
Yeah. But we also don't forget the name is Raw Media Creative because also we're roaring on your behalf. We're helping you. We create content. So the content that is made, the brands that made, they convert, they speak loudly that your audiences can hear them, but it's an enjoyable roar. What do you say, Stephen?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I want our audience to know that we have already worked together on several projects with more to come. And I have been first pleasantly pleased, then beyond delighted, then holy wow. And now I am just ecstatic because working with the two of you is a dream come true. You're both so knowledgeable and truly experts, the top 1% in what you do. And working with you is always a professional, delightful, beautiful experience. And it's not just the deliverables that you come up with. It's actually the whole journey that I just feel like part of a family. And so I highly recommend to anyone and everyone out there that if you are looking for help to take your business to the next level, whether it's through branding, marketing, public relations, maybe it's through film, maybe it's through publishing, documentaries, these are the two people to reach out to because they are, as you would say, what's on the tin. I never heard that before I met you guys, but they are the real deal. They do show up at the highest level and they produce results that are life-changing. I wasted so much money before I met them, and I'm just so grateful to the two of you for helping change my life. And now I can help change the lives of other people as well.
Thank you,
Well, you're very welcome. I'd like to also spotlight you, Dr. Jacalyn, because the thing is, what you do, you allow us to help you. And what you do, you lean back and you listen. Okay, one of your brands I've created is the listening mentor. It's because you're so great at listening. So you actually get what we're saying and you listen, and then you step forward and show up and do the work we ask you to do. And then you work with us. And this makes a huge, huge difference because when you have a dynamic like that, you can take the distance from this to this, and then from growing from you're here, but you're like that. So it's collaboration.
Thank you. And I just want to let our audience know, anybody who's out there, you might have gone through something similar that I've gone through, which is you have this incredible need to hold on to everything and you want it done right now. I want results this minute. If I do this, then will it end up being this? And the truth is that nothing worthwhile happens overnight. And it's a matter of changing your mindset, changing what it is you put out in the world and not thinking small anymore, and realizing that success is unlimited. It's available for everyone and anyone. And we just have to change what we're doing and find the right partners. You have to get the right team around you. And then you have to believe in them, and you have to give your trust to them and take their trust back so that you can actually grow as a team, because one person is not going to do it by themselves. That's just been my experience.
Very true.
100%. I mean, the first thing, do you know of all the things I've learned from so many skilled, really talented, really unique people? Yes, all the clever business stuff that we know, it's very important how that's forged together, and we understand the systems, the back-end system, that absolutely key to any business, how that translates outwards. But one of the main simple things is that one of the main blocks for people to get into their best light or the best version of themselves, or the most successful person that they can be so they can elevate forward quickly, is that they can't get out of their own way. It's really as simple as that. When we say, we're our own worst enemy, in many respects, of course, we know that we are, until we learn not to be. So this is absolutely massive at every level. So you learn this in the way, so it's very important.
Thank you. And, we could go on and on about this all day because but I know you have a lesson to present, but I do have one more comment. And the comment is that I worked in corporate for almost my entire career, except when I worked for my dad. And that doesn't mean that I know anything about running a business. And I learned that very quickly, that I might have degrees and certifications, but I didn't know a darn thing about starting a business, creating a business. And I think there might be a number of people out there who are in the same position that, you watch Shark Tank and you see these people coming forward and the sharks are like, no, that's a hobby. You have a hobby. So at some point we realize, at least I realized, that you can't do it by yourself. You don't know what you don't know, and you have to work with people who've been there. And as you guys have mentioned, you've already done this with 200 other companies, and you continue to keep putting good out in the world. And I think that it's a matter of taking aside the ego and operating from a place of the soul and from the heart, and being open to giving away some of that so that you can actually have a business that's successful.
Very well said.
Thank you. Thank you. Are you ready to present, or should we go to a commercial break?
Oh, let's get going.
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready.
All right. Take it away. I love you guys. I could keep you here all day, but okay, here we go.
Okay.
Hi guys, we'll just get straight into the raw content. There's going to be a lot of unique stuff in there that you wouldn't have heard before, I promise you, which will, if you can take out the bits that apply to you, will really change things and get you what you want so much more quicker, I promise you. Now, the statistics are up and down, but it's 70% plus businesses, startups fail in the first year. We know this. That goes up, I think, to about 85%. In the next couple of years, when we go into the third year, which is where you usually find some kind of stability, viability in a business, all right? Why is this then? Why is this? This is a terrible statistic. So we're here having built, supported many businesses to go behind the curtain, to really give you what to do and what not to do, to help you, to save you time, money, and get you to where you want to be really quickly.
Yeah, that's right. So the title, Build or Bust. Yeah. Now, this is a bit of a provocative title, but the thing is, it's a good idea to kind of build things to last. And what we do in Raw Media, we make sure that it builds and that it absolutely doesn't bust. And as Dr. Jacalyn says, sometimes you have to slow down and do the work, and then it gets built correctly. So let's start off with today's presentation in a really powerful way. And then let's start looking at all the things that can go wrong really quickly. And the first thing I'd like to bring up and have a little discussion with Stephen, do you think that people prepare themselves enough before they go into starting a business?
Absolutely not. Even people who you would think would know better, because there's something about human beings is we're there, which is or a bus, right? Up or down. There's no middle bit. Business, you can't do that. Then the instinct is to expedite stuff. It's to quicken everything. I want it yesterday, so we cut corners. No, don't do it. If you don't pay the price straight away, usually, then you're going to pay it down the road. I promise you. It is about layering and planning. The more that you can do that in a very clear way is absolutely important. So it's sometimes we say, and it is true, the slower you go, the faster you get there, is a good rule.
That's right. Well, the tip I would bring on in the back of that, Mr. Gillen, is be careful about making your plans, because when you're on online or you would work with banks, they will give you business plan templates, and I would advise not to use them. Which sounds a bit of counter-intuitive. And the reason why is there's a lot of predictive figures. It's like I'm predicting if I sell 100 eucalyptus trees, then I'm going to suddenly sell 1,000 eucalyptus trees at this, in certain times. This doesn't work. So what I would suggest is actually to start off your planning by, first of all, finding customers, having something great to sell them and get your customers first, and then create a business model where you can see how you're going to monetize, how you do this at value exchange.
Yeah, the value is very, very important thing, because some people really think they have value, but they don't. Or sometimes they do have value, they can't see it, but they don't know how to translate that into a customer in a way that works, that can repeat and can be monetized. These are all two general things. But it's better to, people are bootstrapping, when they're starting a business and an idea, the first thing is always really push and pull your idea. Just because your family or your brother or your friends down the road say, hey, that's really clever, this is not something you're going to throw your money into. You want real constructive criticism. You want to look at demographics. You want competitor analysis. These are the first things you need to do. Look at locations. Is it a product? Is it a service? I always say one of the best things to do is look at the pain points. What's pissing people off? What do you think it can be better, faster, cheaper, unique, or that you can deliver at a low cost at the start to start getting you on your feet so you can build a business? It's very important to be realistic and plan. Back to that thing, kind of, the slower we go, the faster we get there. Because the aptitude to learn quickly is where the success is. Not that we have this great idea and we want to be up here straight away. You have to reverse engineer everything and protect yourself as you go into these wars.
Yeah, but there's two great things there that I like, Stephen, that you're talking about, is this push and pulley things. Now, anyone that knows Stephen Gillen very well, they know that he's a very strong character and he says what he thinks. So our meetings in the office are very interesting at times. But what we do, we both have together we have these strategy sessions, but we will ask the most outrageous questions to each other, and we will be very provocative, and we will really poke the bear. And so the thing is, the tip there is not to take things seriously, or personally. Yes, you take things seriously, of course, because it's business, it's your life, your time. But you mustn't be afraid to feel. You mustn't be afraid for those uncomfortable emotions to be rising up, because some things that look like absolute lunacy are the best things to do. But unless you, as Stephen says, push and pull it, you're not going to know. And the thing is, business isn't comfortable. So if any of you out there want to be comfortable, don't have a business, because it's constantly getting out of your way, constantly getting out of your comfort zone. And one of my clients said today, wow, after all the things I see you do every day, it's like you do a university a whole term in one day. I don't know how you do it. So it's a massive amount. And in other presentations I've done, I always talk about the 1,000 layers of business. Now, the next thing that Stephen says is about a pricing, go entry level that's affordable. And this is a good idea. But the thing is, do also think about some brands you need to make more expensive. And it's because it's about value. So when you're going in at entry level, which is a really good idea, it's a good value thing, but to give it a time limit for 90 days, this is this. But it's always easier when you have a quality product and you sell that product to just a handful of great people, get referrals, grow your customers, spend plenty of time on personal relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing is that I would say is a good way to go at this is that what you find with a lot of people who have some great ideas, or they think they have a great product, or they're starting out or whatever, is they look at all the great things. Oh, this is a great product because, and this is going to work because, they're going to love this and all this. I mean, that's great. I don't come from that angle. Don't come from that angle. It's a mistake. Write them things down, look at pros and cons, but look at why it's not going to work. Go straight to why this will not work. Why will it not work? Come from every approach. Now, the idea for the entrepreneur, especially if you're trying to structure to procure finance or investment, right? And we do this, is to take away all the why this won't work on this list. So you can mitigate what the outlay is, in the business, what the roadmap is, where you're going, and you can offset any risks. So don't go to where it's good, go straight to where it's bad, and then work on that. How can you mitigate these risks? Because through that, you really start to develop the real understanding that is this viable or is it not? As Jacalyn said earlier, does it have a chance of finding the legs of an actual business that makes money, or is it something else, that's not going to work and pull you down to the bottom of the ocean? Remember the statistics that I said at the start. So, it's just one thing on the back of that. Everyone wants a business. Everyone sees. People usually only see the finished product of a successful entrepreneur. They don't see the blood, sweat, and tears, the treachery, the empty bank accounts, the hardships in the middle, especially at the start. So know that where you're going is a very, very uncomfortable place, and usually you will have to be there for years as you learn and really dovetail what your offering is and what you do. One good way to protect that, as Jacalyn said there earlier, is populating your life with the right people, places and things, and getting the right people. That may just be one person, and getting rid of the people who haven't been there before. Everyone's great at talking, but to say, okay, show me where you've actually succeeded in this area, and then I think that you have something to give me.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things I'd like to bring in now, and that is one word, which is resonance. And another word is when you are threatened or embarrassed. So we've got three words there. Okay, so let's go threatened and embarrassed first. A lot of people who are really passionate about what they do, and they can be really good at what they do, they might try and do something really good, and it starts off like, "Woo, it's great," and then it goes, "Shoo, planet." It doesn't mean to say that business is a bad business. You get up and you start again. You look at the mistakes you make and you do it again. And you might have to do it again and again and again. But the thing is, I don't want anybody out there to be intimidated by other people that look all squeaky and perfect and it's just easy. Because if those people are very truthful and they're real entrepreneurs and they're really great business people, they would have had to walk on fire and sometimes climb up a mountain on glass, because that's what it takes, and business can be very difficult. You should never be put off. Have a go, step forward, but go in with your eyes wide open, not wide shut. Now, the thing is, I have seen so many wonderful people give up because they are intimidated by somebody and they think, oh, I couldn't possibly ask for help because I haven't got enough money, or I haven't this, or I haven't that. And they will put literally bollards right in front of them and all around them so they can't move left, right, up, down, or whatever. So it's very, very important to be humble and just try. And it's very lovely when people come to us and they say, we need our hand holding. We actually don't know what we're doing. We don't think bad of them. We think, wow, fantastic.
It's a good start. So someone who we can work with.
Yeah, because they're going to lean back. We can lean forward and help. And then when we start to work with people, then you can feel this, what we're saying. Does that resonate with you? Does that work with you? And this should be. Now, whatever services that you're looking for out there, whether it's an accountant, whether it's a bank, whether it is a printer, a branding person, a PR, whatever, these people should be really resonating with you. And if they're not, you really have to listen.
Yeah, and another thing that I would say, and this is very, very important, and it's another paradoxical thing within building businesses that people would not necessarily get, unless they've been through that, is that it's not that you're clever or what degrees that you have or how many masters you have or anything. It's how you're clever. Not that you're clever, but how you are clever, right? Some of the world's most richest people batted out of school, but it's how they're clever, not that they have loads of letters after their name. This is a very, very important point, because when it really comes down to it, what the fundamental thing is in any business, especially for an entrepreneur, is that you're good at solving problems, small ones, medium ones, and really big ones. And, and they come in constantly. Now, how good you are at doing that and how good your style is and becomes at solving problems is, a very integral part of how successful you're going to be in any industry. One of the problems with that, as we would know, is with more responsibility and bigger goals, bigger stresses. So this really is a baptism of fire. So this translates to me, what I've always seen this is, it's very important then to be very clear, because it will find you out. If you don't understand this stuff, it's going to come to your door, I promise you, and that will be that, yes, it looks great and all that, but how bad do you actually want it? Do you want it so bad that you are prepared to do anything, to sacrifice anything, to discipline everything, to be open to learn what you need to learn, to find the people that you need to find that will keep getting you over them hurdles so you elevate into these next levels? This is very important, because this is the nitty-gritty. So it's not necessarily what fancy school you went to or anything like that, because this stuff finds everyone out. It really doesn't matter. It's what you have in you. So it's more, don't be frightened. This can be a good thing or a bad thing, of course, but it just is. In the cold light of day, which is a good thing, because anyone can really aspire to be anything that they want, really, in this arena.
Well, to bring in some more value on the back of what Stephen said, it's very important to have a big piece of paper and lots of colourful pens and draw lots of circles all over your paper. And the reason why is people need to remember to put things in boundaries. And when some of our brainstorming meetings get really creative and loud, and then I have to remind Steve, hang on a minute, which boundary are we in? He goes, oh yes, yeah, because you can kind of like go out the line. But when you deal with one thing at a time and then go on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, you will find that you can achieve so much more than when you try to do so much all at once. I call that getting overwhelmed. But when you do things in boundaries, so for example, when Stephen says, well, look at the things that are not good first, look at where the pain points are. Well, not good pain points, that's in one boundary. How to actually get all the hardware and all the furnishings for an office, that's something else. Where to do your sales, where you're getting your customers, that's something else. Now, there's one thing that really can make businesses go bust really quickly, and they can have great offering, they can be really clever, one partner can go to a right school, another one didn't, and whatever the wonderful combinations are, but they can go bust so quickly because their brand and their graphics are wrong. And they might be the best accountants in the whole kind of East Coast, but maybe they've got pink flowers on, or maybe there's a picture of a pineapple or a sailing ship that's got nothing to do with accounting. And I say this over and over again, never design things that you like. You have to have your brand looking so the customer can understand who you are, what you do in 3 seconds, not 2 minutes or 3 minutes, 3 seconds. So then that's in another boundary. Okay, so it's okay actually to get a nice big like notebook and have different sections and start working maybe in 3 parts of your business at once, and then go to, and every 90 days do 3 things, and then the next 90 day do another three things. And this way, when you start to do things in boundaries, but you work in a very thorough way, you will see that your business will start to build.
There's some great advice there. Just to narrow some of it, I would say is that, for startups especially, or even when you're further in the deeper ocean, of your business or whatever, when it starts to get successful, one thing you're going to get is, when you're really good at it, is you're going to be very overwhelmed very quickly because it's working, right? Which is a good thing. But this is where you learn that systems are very important. When you can't upscale a business without systems, all right? So you upscale it so it can facilitate where you're going, all right? This is the first thing. Then that translates to time. That is so much easier. So you can manage and you can keep a hold of the beast. Really, the businesses, they grow so quick, it's like a wild beast, all right? Now, you can lose them if you don't tame them just as quick as well. So, the archer always is systems, and that overwhelming thing is a real destructive influence to a lot of people. We've all been through it, until you learn about that kind of energy. And, the way to do that is, boundaries, putting things in boxes, getting the specialist help that you need, even resting, and being very, very aware of your time, doing things a bit at a time. I always say it's completing tasks. If you have 20 things up there, oh my God, these things, do 2 lists, what is urgent and what is important. They'll all seem urgent, but they're not. Half of them are urgent, need to be attended now. The others are important. They need to be attended to, but maybe they're in the next few days. Straight away, you've half the stress in your workload, and you can refocus more. And then it's completing tasks. And of course, there's many ways that you can do that. But this is the real everyday challenges of a business, and it's very important to say that, because as businesses, they all want to be successful, right? But one of the reasons that they don't upscale, or they don't be successful, or they're not going in the way that founders want them to, is because of the systems and many things. But this is where businesses fail. It's like, these startups where you hear the guy say, oh, if a job's worth doing, well, I can only do it myself. I mean, this is a kind of mindset of a sole trader, pretty much, but when you translate more into a business, it is about systems and not taking shortcuts. So that takes us back again about, sometimes the slower you go, the faster you'll get there, and you'll actually have something. It's like if you're going through a very uneasy territory where you don't know where you're stepping, or you can fall, you're going to test every step, right? It's a good way to do your business journey.
Yeah, and on the back of what Stephen's saying about the lists, the urgent list is always get the money in. Because if you don't have clients and you aren't making sales, you're not going to have a business. Now, the thing is, there's some people out there, they take great pride in doing so much. They might have, or have a flower shop and, spend hours researching what flowers and what hours doing the display, but they haven't spent any time on sales or any customer service, no nice little telephone calls to the people just to say hi. You can get a lot of sales that way. So sales is the top priority on your list, sales creation. And another thing too, it's always goes back to relationships and about being really genuine, caring people. And it's so important to check in with the people, with your clients and the people, or even your people that provide you with the service. Keep those relationships going. And I don't know how many times I've like this innocently just been talking to someone or ring someone, and then they get off the phone, and then there's so much. I've got an order. Wasn't looking for it. I was just following up. And this is like really good, because sometimes the people who are going to buy something from you don't even know that they need it until they talk to you. So it's so important. And although technology is a wonderful thing, we're so blessed to have it. Otherwise, we wouldn't all be here today, being able to hear this broadcast and for us to impart this knowledge to you. But it's so important to get off the social media and be talking to people, whether it's through Zoom, telephone calls, WhatsApp, or now again, well, in the UK, we can meet up again. So that's absolutely fabulous. But please never underestimate the power of relationships.
No, this is massive. Sorry, Jack. Yeah, go for it.
Sorry, I know we could be here for hours and hours. We actually are at the end of the show, which there's been so much incredible content that you shared, and I don't think we can actually do it justice by having the full debrief that I'd love to have. But there's so many gems that you shared, and as I can say, I know firsthand that I've learned so much. I didn't even know what engineering was. I thought that was like a guy who's got like one of those protractors, and I didn't even understand about engineering the back end of a business and how important it is. And then to your point about the branding, you just throw some stuff together and that looks nice, and meanwhile it's a disaster because it's not the level of professionalism and it doesn't actually articulate what it is that you're doing.
Absolutely. And it's very important. Another really, really important point is relationships, Jack, because we don't want to, have people that are not be working with people necessarily that we don't like or don't have faith in. Sometimes you may for a while just because it's a transactional, but part of the real art, of business, especially when you get a lot more experienced, is how you position yourself, not just you and your business in the marketplace, having learned at what you do, but how you position to get the really good partners that you get. I'm on about big partners, because when they come in as well, then this is part of the journey. You're on a completely different level again, because their resources become your resources, and this is a wonderful thing. So it is the people, the people around you in your inner circle as well. That's so important.
Definitely, because you have to work with each other day in and day out. And if you don't like each other, or if it's based on some sham, then it's going to show itself and people are going to be unhappy. And then the level of work is going to, reflect that. One thing I just want to leave us with, if it's okay, is that part of, I think, moving forward in a business and in a partnership is doing the boring, tedious little details that none of us want to do, but they have to be done. And I think one lesson that I learned was I wanted to go from this over to this, and I didn't want to have to do any of this in the middle. And that's where the growth actually takes place. And so that's kind of been a learning lesson for me. And I just want to encourage other people. There's a lot of things that you have to do that are very tedious and boring, but they need to be done.
And also, when things are engineered and set up right, then it runs. And you can. And one of my favorite things to do is to do product design and make brands and products that make money and people sleep. That's wonderful. So you do
yes.
Then you let it run. And you
Cha-ching while you're sleeping. I love that. All right. Well, thank you both for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've been running your banners, but I'm going to spotlight you again. And Stephen, I've got your banner right here. So if you just want to share the best way for people to get in touch with you and who should reach out to you.
I'm all over social media. It's very easy to Google me. I do a lot of work all around the world, especially in the States. So, you can get us on the website. That's very easy. You've got the messaging down there, and we do a lot of stuff. I would suggest go into the website maybe, or even Google my name, Stephen Gillen, or Daphne, and see, because there's many things that we can do, not just building brands and business, but supporting you when you're more advanced, and really positioning you in a place that's really going to change things.
Thank you, Daphne. Anything you'd like to add?
Yes, I would. Well, Stephen and I, well, you've had some experience quite a lot of experience of us now. I think people have said to hire 2 people, but you're really hiring 20, and it is like that. But there's another thing I'd just like to tell everybody what we do. We actually are a production company, so we make commercials and films. We can do any little ads up into a big movie that you'll see in a major show house or cinema, we call them in the UK. And also, it's so important now that people should be thinking about making like little documentaries about their businesses, so the rest of the world can have a peek view into what you're doing. So if something like that interests you, do please contact us.
Wonderful. Thank you both again. I'm so happy that you're here today and that we're launching Talking Heads. It's so exciting and putting a better you in the archives. It was a great run. We really enjoyed it. And now we're looking forward to the future. So Daphne, I look forward to seeing you in just minutes as we kick off the variety show with Laser Girl. And it's going to be a fabulous program. So please do watch. Thank you again for being here. We'll all see you later on. Take care. Bye, Stephen. Bye.